Hey everyone, this is Marcus, friend of Kevin McDermott of Balls Like the Predator to the Wall fame. Just giving you a little quick strategy pre-action overview of the doubleheader action that Kevin and I will be experiencing tomorrow. It's 1850 points, his newly built Dark Eldar list versus both my Tyranids and my Necrons. So basically this is my 1850 point GT list for the Tyranids. It's ridiculous. It's a null deployment Stealer shock list. It's awesome. Well, at least it's fun to play as, with everything except Dark Eldar. Basically, the Gene Stealers, I'll outflank. I have 2 Zone Threats on my set Explorer that drop down and try to zap 1 random tank, 2 Flyrants, 1 with Hive Commander, a Trigon Prime, and everything's held off the board. Everything comes in turns 2 and 3, hopefully, and then it just kind of mashes everything in from the sides and from the middle. So that works against most static armies. Gunline armies are helpless against this kind of thing, really. But the thing is, with his Dark Eldar there so fast that I might not even be able to get an assault in, because he can be wherever he wants to be also, but with much more reliability because of his transports. So it's going to be an uphill battle for me, mostly because I don't have any shooting to crack open even those easy armor value 10 raiders. So he'll be zipping around me, he'll engage me on his terms, and I expect the Tyranid army to be somewhere between severely disadvantaged to utterly helpless tomorrow. There's got a lot of witches, some Hecatrix Bloodbrides, which are particularly nasty witches that match the Steelers' initiative and have that invulnerable save that pretty much negates the Steelers' rending. So the main advantages of this listing in close combat are pretty much lost. I don't have any grenades. If he chooses to hide and cover, he'll go first and destroy me. He's got enough AP5 shooting to put down my Steelers, and his own thrips don't really have one heavy vehicle to target, so I don't really know what I'll do with them. Monstrous creatures will probably also fall to the poison shot. The keys to victory, if I do have victory, will be because of the judicial application of Paroxysm from the Hive Tyrants to reduce the weapon and ballistic skill of squads to 1. Might actually come in more handy with the ballistic skill to prevent them from getting shot up and dying from tiny little bee sting rifles before getting assaulted. I'm going to have to mass assault because 1 squad of Steelers will not take down 1 squad of Witches Warriors. Almost definitely Witches, not a chance. I'm projecting the Hive Tyrants will do the most damage or get killed the fastest because they have the potential to do the most damage. So really, it's going to rely on the monstrous creatures and not so much the Steelers. They might have to get sacrificed. And pretty much just comes down to luck, honestly. Any one of those things can go wrong. I can get my reserves badly. He can miss a lot. Skill will have not much to do with this game, unless I pull out some tactical genius. Now, ironically, over here with the Necrons, I feel like I have a much better chance of actually pulling a victory out. You know, it's kind of strange to say that about an army that has not been updated in upwards of 10 years, but with all the shooting that I have at my disposal with this list, I think that I might have a chance. I've got a monolith because nothing in his army, literally nothing, can destroy that monolith. So I'm just going to put everyone behind it and force them to walk around it pretty much. I have a Destroyer Lord of the War Scythe to counter the Witch's invulnerable save, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you consider that the Witch's invulnerable save is based on dodging rather than having a force field, so I don't know how this weapon would negate dodging. But it does, and I'm not going to complain because it's just an invulnerable save. He's got a Phase Shifter, which gives him a 4-up invulnerable save against those Agonizers, which will be deadly. And then I've also got 5 Scarab Swarms, and I've given the whole group Lightning Fields, which means for every unsaved wound this group takes, after all hits are resolved, for each unsaved wound they give back a Strength 3 hit with no AP. And since it says with no AP, I'm going to try to argue that it's not a close combat hit, it's just like a hit. So that way, if it's not close combat, the witches don't get their invulnerable save. I'll probably lose that argument because I hate arguing. But I'm going to try to pull that one out. At the very least, it should mess up 1 squad of witches that assaults in, probably kill about half of them, and maybe even out the odds a little bit for just 1 assault. Other than that, I have 1 squad of 2 Heavy Destroyers to guarantee I take down 1 of his Ravagers. At least they're going to be gunning for the Ravager unless it shoots them up first, because I want that thing to die. He'll have the Night Shield's Flicker Fields on it, but 1 Ravager can put down this squad of Heavy Destroyers or most of the squad of Normal Destroyers, and that's really what will kill me if he takes out my faster elements and then can just surround me and work his way in from the back. But I also have 2 squads of 4 destroyers. Regular destroyers will do perfectly fine at cracking the raiders open, which is probably what I'm going to have to do as fast as possible. Get as many troops as he has foot slogging. He might be running a webway portal he has in the past. He told me this thing has more models now. He has a bit more options. He might not be stuck with using that. But if I can make him drop that off closer to this side of the board, I will be much better off. Or if he's not running that, if I can put down as many raiders, have him foot slog some witches, I do not mind shooting witches. Then I have 3 squads of 10 warriors, which is more than I've seen in most lists. Most people just run like 20 to 25 warriors, but I'm expecting one group to get wiped out in assault. I don't want to phase out too quickly. Rather stick in the whole game, if possible, and one squad of 10 immortals, because I just goddamn love immortals. So basically the plan is to put the monolith right out front, a squad of warriors on one side, a squad of immortals on the other, and the destroyers behind everyone, mostly behind the monolith so they cannot be seen, because he has, I'm pretty sure he's including the Baron, whatever his name is. I don't have the codex with me, but it gives him +1 to go first. If he does that, he will shoot the hell out of my destroyers, and I will have no chance whatsoever to start putting down his transports. He'll surround me, and I'll lose. So I'm going to try to keep the destroyers a little bit back. I can shoot over the warriors. They have line of sight. They would, at least, since their jetpacks are hovering a bit. So I can hit the warrior. I can hide the destroyers until I need them to shoot down the raiders, which point I will do that, and everything will go merrily. Then I'm going to just keep advancing the monolith slowly, keep everyone behind it, so that the witches will have to run around. I'm mostly concerned about the witches, because I don't mind getting shot a bit with the poisoned. It's pretty much getting hit with bolt guns as far as the warriors are concerned. But the witches will assault one of these squads and just wipe them, and I get no will back, and it will phase me out that much faster. So I'm going to try to keep everyone behind the monolith, force everyone to run around it. I'm not going to shoot the particle whip at all this game. I'm not planning on it. I don't need to. It doesn't have enough heavy armor to justify that. I'm going to use that to pull people out of close combat if they get stuck in, and then it's going to be using its Gauss Flux Arc to hit everyone within 12 inches of it, which hopefully will be most of his army. I'm going to try to stay close together behind it, so he'll have to go near it. It'll keep shooting everything up. He's got enough power to take on the vehicles. It's not quite strong enough to negate feeling of pain if he gets some pain tokens, but the destroyers will take care of that nicely. And really, one round of rapid fire from any of my squads will pretty much castrate one of his squads, and it will make it that much more difficult for him to, just table me, which might actually just happen anyway. But there is my strategy overview. More to come on this tomorrow. See you on the gaming table.